So it's been a while since we talked about MoneyGram, okay? And I thought I'd bring this to you guys' attention. So MoneyGram hails Stellar the ultimate blockchain for cross-border payments with negligible transaction fees. This was reported on June 14th. MoneyGram's executives, of course, hailed it, right? Like we just mentioned, the protocol's negligible fees remain one of its key benefits. Luther Madej, who in a brief bit you're going to see a recent video roughly about 4 days ago from the Stellar Foundation. Anyway, he, of course, is the head of fintech and innovation at MoneyGram. And he's the one that's boasting, of course, Stellar Lumens and so on. And obviously, like, we know about some of the history of Stellar and MoneyGram. But according to Madej, Stellar was specifically designed with cross-border transactions in mind, unlike many other blockchains out there. At best, Stellar Network offers lower transaction fees, almost to the point of being negligible. More so, its union with USD Coin Circle, a fully reserved digital dollar stablecoin backed, of course, like we know about this, but backed by cash, and short-dated U.S. Treasuries make it the choice of many projects. I want to jump down to this. So it states from Stellar, there are multiple blockchains out there, but Stellar was built with cross-border payments in mind. Transaction fees on Stellar are also so minimal that there's negligible cost for quickly moving an asset across Stellar. So, this was posted on June 13th of 2023. I think I could play it straight from here.
Given that MoneyGram...
Yeah, I also have the other one from not Crypto Twitter, but from YouTube. But we'll just play it from right here. This is good stuff. Here we go.
Given that MoneyGram Access provides this set of the population that predominantly operates in cash a way to engage in a new ecosystem, but still use a very familiar method of payment, makes it very, very unique. And we're the first ones to launch this along with Stellar. I'm Luther Madej, Head of Fintech Strategy and Innovation at MoneyGram. MoneyGram is a 80-year-old company that enables movement of money for 150 million consumers across 200 countries.
I'm Alicia Smith. I'm head of product for our business and new fintech products. We're in Uptown, which is a part of Dallas, Texas. A lot of companies are coming here. There's a lot more banks coming to the area. It's a great place to be, a lot of opportunity.
We at MoneyGram, we're in the business of moving money for our consumers. Over the past 8 decades, we've spent quite a bit of time establishing a footprint of over 450,000 physical locations and more than 5 billion digital endpoints. The backbone of MoneyGram's customers are immigrants like myself that have moved from countries like India or Pakistan or different countries like that to countries like the US or Canada or Australia and Europe. And the primary use case is for them to send money back home to their families. Digital assets have always had the promise of being able to send a message and settle immediately. This is very different than the way that most financial services work today. While digital assets have a lot to offer, one of the biggest things that holds the proliferation of digital assets today is the fact that they can't be used every day to pay for things. And that's basically defined as the last mile. The last mile being cash doesn't really exist today. MoneyGram Access is the true one-of-a-kind cash on and off-ramp built on the Stellar network. This allows any wallet on the Stellar network to provide their consumers with a way to go from cash into USDC, which is a cash in, or go from USDC out into a local currency, which is a cash out. USDC being a stable coin that is US dollar pegged, and us being a US-based company with Stellar, a network that's been designed for the optimization of speed and cost.
The wallets themselves are connected through Stellar Network. We integrated with Stellar's SEP24 protocol, which is just like a standard way of anchors and wallets connecting to the Stellar platform. And there were many pivots, reprioritization, trade-offs to get it stood up. And one of the most interesting pivots we had was we had an aid organization reach out to us. We accelerated cash out first globally so we could support the Stellar Aid Assist program. And we prioritized enabling that first to help the people of Ukraine. So in my opinion, that's probably one of the more powerful and energizing use cases of the product.
MoneyGram Access is currently live for cash out in 180 plus countries and cash in 17 countries. We currently have 4 wallets that are currently live and more coming down the pipeline. Roughly 2 billion people of the world's population still operate predominantly in cash. That includes people like my dad that use cash on a day in, day out basis. Ultimately, anything that allows us to provide that customer a way to get money from point A to point B more effectively, faster, and on time is always something that we'll look at, because we totally understand that the funds not reaching on time to their loved ones makes the difference between paying rent or not paying rent, putting food on the table or not putting food on the table.
My dream for MoneyGram Access is that end users feel empowered with their ability to hold digital currencies and turn it into local currency anytime they like. I hope that helps them feel safer and helps improve their quality of life.
All right, so there you have it in regards to that. I mean, it's nice to get an update, for Stellar, but especially MoneyGram. I mean, people have been talking about like, well, what's going on with MoneyGram? So I thought I'd share that with you guys. I do believe there's a little bit more from this site. It's regards to this thing called MGI, right, which introduced MoneyGram Access on the Stellar blockchain. So, we understand a lot about, some of the use cases of Stellar. A lot of us by now, hopefully, know about MoneyGram and so on. So it says MoneyGram International is recognized basically as a payment giant which has evolved to become one of the few global financial technology companies with a massive client base all around the world. I mean, there's some local grocery stores here in the Phoenix area that have MoneyGrams, right? I'm sure there's MoneyGrams out in your area too. It says as part of its evolution, MGI's focus on pioneering Web3 and other innovative payment technologies, with this translated into the development of MoneyGram Access. In regards to a little bit more of MoneyGram, this platform enabled by the Stellar Network expands access, of course, to digital assets and financial services worldwide. Basically, it provides users in the participating locations with access to cash to crypto on and off ramps. And this is something that's been mentioned numerous times when it comes to Stellar, is the ability to do not only just cross-border payments, but that concept of fiat to crypto, aka cash to crypto, and so on and off ramps. The integration with the Stellar protocol offers MGI direct access to the protocol's network and its ecosystem. This means that MoneyGram also gets exposed to a new client base as Stellar-powered wallets and applications would integrate with MoneyGram Access. And there's, of course, more information in regards to Circle. We understand that Circle, USDC stablecoin plays a crucial part of this, in the mix of things and so on. I want to read this real quick, though, and that is basically how it says, users can deposit and withdraw cash from their wallets, like that guy mentioned in the video, via Circle on Stellar without needing a bank account. And in the future, when we get mass adoption, this right here is why I will keep saying over and over again that, if you were to talk about cryptocurrency with the average Joe Schmo, or maybe a grandparent or aunt, uncle, whoever's, like a relative who, or even a friend, right, who just simply doesn't understand, the concept of blockchain or distributed ledger technologies and so on. But, when they think of the word currency from cryptocurrency, they're thinking literally like, can I use this to buy goods and services? Can I buy, use this at my grocery store, buy groceries, you name it. This is where I feel as though in the future with mass adoption, if I had to pick one cryptocurrency to literally do it all for like the retail side of things, it's definitely Stellar 110%, right? So this last part, need, using Circle on Stellar without needing a bank account. Think of how crucial that is. When we talk about Latin America or Central America and so on, some of these areas where people just don't have access, this is what they're talking about. This is why you see, for instance, like even with Quant Network, like why they go to some of these areas, like we use the example of LackChain, where it's the underserved, underprivileged areas of the world. They just simply don't have access. This stands out for Stellar because, again, you don't need a bank account, and their services and lightning fast speed and so on. It's just amazing. So this last part, notably, the decision to leverage a stablecoin was made by MoneyGram in consideration of the unbanked and the underbanked with respect to volatile cryptocurrency. To jump over to their site, I'm going to show you this just for a brief moment. If you've never been to the MoneyGram site, here it is. And it says fast, simple, reliable, send money direct to a bank account, for instance. Or in other cases, maybe not to that, right? You don't need a bank account. But like it shows, you can send money, you can track receipts, you can find a location, pay bills, you name it, right? You even have rewards. That's something that we may need to talk about in the future. I'm going to jump down to this bottom part. As far as like inclusive access and so on, you can get it on Google Play and even the Apple App Store. And last but not least, at this bottom part, look what's mentioned here: user-friendly service. This quote: the service is very user-friendly to set up, plus it's secure. I mean, these are all things that everybody wants, right? Not just fast and speed. Something that's got speedy delivery, but the fees are fair. Actually, they're more than fair, insanely cheap, and they give a better exchange rate than most. And that's one of the key things. Like, when I was first new to crypto and altcoins in the past, I was told, that like Stellar is like the Western Union of crypto, right? But in reality, it's not. When you think about Western Union, it's just like, that is snail's pace. If we talk about ISO 222, and getting onto this new messaging system and getting full implementation of this by the end of 2025, I believe it is. When I think of Stellar, for instance, it's just like there's a big difference of this compared to Western Union. I mean, when people say MoneyGram, I guess some people just think, oh, that sounds like Western Union. It's like, no, it's not exactly the same type of thing at all. I mean, Western Union, for one, is like, I'm gonna send somebody like I believe $2,000. I think I'm gonna get hit with like $600 worth of fees. That's ludicrous. So like it says, by far, it's the best money transfer service I have ever used. I mean, this is testimonials to a sense, but as we get more mass adoption through crypto and so on, not just reaching like 2% of America or and so on. I mean, a worldwide global scale of things, I would say by 50% adoption, this becomes more of a household name. People will start using this more and more. And last but not least, the quick confirmation. This is a great quote. I know I keep saying last but not least. It says, I love using MoneyGram to send money to my family abroad, right? It makes my transactions easy and I receive confirmation from my receivers quickly. I love knowing that I can simply do this in my pajamas at home. Thanks, MoneyGram. I mean, when I use the example of a person in the middle of the Congo who might be like a missionary or something, there is really, literally use cases or testimonials, let's just say, of that person who doesn't receive the, the Western Union payment for like 2 weeks because of where the person's at and so on. And then how about this, like having to get to some of these areas, right? With, some of these stellar technologies, like with MoneyGram and so on, like it's just amazing to see how fast the payment is able to transfer, but the security on it. And again, last but not least, I mean, no one's going to sign up for something like this if it's going to be more expensive, obviously, compared to Western Union. It is not. It's literally for pennies on the dollar. So, this is why consistently people feel as though, Stellar stands out for the retail money for cross-border payments and so on. It literally is. And we understand, what they're going to do with, banks and so on. But glad to give you guys this MoneyGram update, because it has been something that's been mentioned in the past. What the heck has happened with MoneyGram? There, basically, you go. I know I was out of the frame for a brief moment there, but glad to share it with you guys.